In 2017, on the slopes of Mount Guntur in West Java, a young hiker named Gibran vanished without a trace. He was only 14 years old, and what should have been a fun weekend climb with friends quickly spiraled into one of the most chilling survival stories the mountain had ever seen. For 6 long days, Gibran's whereabouts remained a mystery. His friends returned safely. The search teams scoured the terrain, yet no one could find him. But when hope was nearly lost, a strange and unsettling twist emerged. It wasn't only rescuers who joined the search, but also a paranormal figure who claimed to know where the boy was. I remember the excitement as we began the hike up Mount Guntur. I was young, full of energy, and proud to be climbing alongside my friends. The trail was alive with laughter and the crunch of our shoes against the dirt. We carried instant noodles and bottles of water, joking about how we'd cook at the summit and take pictures with the view behind us. The mountain seemed welcoming at first. The air was fresh, filled with the smell of damp earth and pine trees. Sunlight broke through the canopy, warming our faces as we stopped to rest. We were just kids enjoying an adventure, never thinking for a moment that the mountain might have other plans. As we climbed higher, the atmosphere began to shift. The forest grew denser, the air heavier, and the trail eerily quiet. I told myself it was just my imagination, but the silence pressed in like a weight. Then, in the blink of an eye, everything changed. I glanced back, expecting to see my friends, but the trail was empty. Their laughter was gone. Their footsteps had vanished. One moment I was part of the group, the next I was utterly alone. At first I thought they were just ahead. I walked faster, then jogged, calling out their names. My voice echoed strangely through the trees, bouncing back at me as though the mountain was mocking my cries. The path beneath my feet no longer looked familiar. It was as if I had been pulled onto a different trail entirely. I tried to stay calm. I told myself I just needed to retrace my steps, but the deeper I went, the more the mountain seemed to twist and turn, leading me in circles. The forest around me grew darker, even though it was still daytime. I felt the hairs on my neck rise, as though unseen eyes were watching me. Hours passed. My water ran low, my stomach growled. But hunger wasn't my biggest fear. It was the silence. No birds, no insects, no wind, just me and the oppressive stillness of the mountain. At times I thought I heard whispers, faint voices calling my name. But when I spun around, no one was there. By nightfall, exhaustion set in. I curled up under the trees, the cold biting through my thin jacket. The darkness felt alive. Shadows seemed to move just beyond my vision. Sleep came in brief, restless bursts, each one filled with dreams I couldn't understand. Dreams of figures standing at the edge of the forest, staring, waiting. The second day was worse. My throat burned with thirst, and my body ached from stumbling through uneven ground. I kept shouting, hoping my friends would hear, but my voice cracked and grew weaker. The mountain had swallowed me whole, and it didn't seem like it intended to let me go. I found a small stream trickling down between rocks and drank greedily. For a moment, I felt relief, but then I noticed something strange. The sound of the water faded in and out, as though the stream itself was flickering between being real and unreal. I splashed my face, trying to ground myself, but unease gnawed at me. The days blurred together. I lost track of time. Sometimes I thought it had only been hours. Other times it felt like weeks. My legs trembled, my vision blurred, and yet, somewhere deep inside, I felt I wasn't alone. I sensed something moving with me, just beyond the trees, watching, following. By the 4th day, I was too weak to walk far. I stayed in one place, listening to the strange sounds that drifted through the forest at night. Soft footsteps, faint laughter, and whispers that grew louder when I closed my eyes. Whether they were real or the result of my failing mind, I couldn't tell. While I lay hidden in the mountain's depths, my family and friends were desperate. Search teams combed the trails, shouting my name, blowing whistles, scanning every corner, but the mountain gave them nothing. Each day that passed, hope grew smaller. 6 days is an eternity when someone is missing in the wilderness. Then something unusual happened. My family sought the help of a local paranormal figure, a man believed to have the ability to see beyond the ordinary. At first, the rescuers were skeptical. but desperation changes everything. The man closed his eyes, concentrated, and described exactly where I could be found, near a slope, close to water, hidden in a pocket of the forest that seemed invisible to others. Guided by his words, the team searched the area. Hours later, their shouts finally pierced the suffocating silence of the mountain. For the first time in days, I heard real voices. Not the whispers, not the illusions, but human voices calling my name. I don't remember much about being rescued. One moment, I was half conscious on the cold ground, and the next, light flooded my vision. Hands lifted me, water touched my lips, and the sound of people crying surrounded me. I had been gone 6 days, but it felt both longer and shorter, as though time itself had betrayed me. They said I was found exactly where the paranormal figure had described. Weak, dehydrated, but alive. My family wept as they held me, and I could only whisper how sorry I was. To this day, I cannot explain what happened on Mount Guntur, how I got lost so suddenly, why the forest twisted around me, or what those whispers in the dark truly were. All I know is that something on that mountain didn't want me to leave, and that without the help of forces beyond our understanding, I might never have been found. Mountains are beautiful, but they are also mysterious, and sometimes they hold secrets that will never be fully understood. What happened to Gibran on that mountain remains a haunting question to this day.